Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to tackle something that might completely change how you think about breaking bad habits. You see, most of us have been taught that breaking habits is all about willpower, that magical force of self-control that somehow always seems to run out when we need it most. But what if I told you that relying on willpower might be the very reason you're struggling to break those stubborn habits? Recent research in behavioral psychology has shown that willpower is actually like a muscle that gets fatigued with use. This means the more you rely on it, the weaker it becomes throughout the day. This explains why even people with seemingly iron discipline often find themselves giving in to temptations by evening. Before we dive into the solutions, let's understand why traditional approaches often fail. Think about the last time you tried to break a bad habit. Maybe it was mindless scrolling on social media, late-night snacking, or procrastinating on important tasks. You probably started with great intentions and strong determination. This time will be different, you told yourself. For the first few days, everything went great. You were riding high on motivation, easily resisting temptations. But then something stressful happened at work, or you had a bad night's sleep. And suddenly that iron will crumbled like a house of cards. Sound familiar? This happens because willpower-based approaches don't address the underlying system that creates and maintains habits. Remember, habits aren't formed because we lack discipline. They're formed because our brains are trying to be efficient, creating shortcuts for behaviors that once served a purpose. The first and most powerful method for breaking bad habits without willpower is what I call environment design. This isn't just about removing temptations, it's about understanding and restructuring your environment to make good behaviors effortless and bad habits impossible. Let me share a personal example. I used to have a terrible habit of checking my phone first thing in the morning, often spending 30 to 45 minutes scrolling before getting out of bed. No amount of willpower helped until I made one simple change. I bought an old-fashioned alarm clock and started charging my phone in another room. The key principle here is friction. Your brain is constantly doing a cost-benefit analysis. By increasing the friction for bad habits and decreasing it for good ones, you can redirect your behavior without using any willpower at all. Practical steps for environment design: create physical distance between you and your temptations. Make bad habits require at least 20 seconds of effort to begin. Replace negative triggers with positive ones, and rearrange your space to support your desired behavior. The second method is called habit stacking, and it's based on the neuroscience of habit formation. Instead of fighting against your existing habits, you're going to use them as triggers for new, better behaviors. Here's how it works. Your brain has already created strong neural pathways for your current habits. These are like well-worn paths in a forest. Instead of trying to create entirely new paths, we're going to connect our desired behaviors to existing ones. For example, if you want to break the habit of mindless snacking while watching TV, you might stack a new habit onto your sitting down to watch TV trigger. The formula is, after I, current habit, I will new habit. So it becomes, after I sit down to watch TV, I will prepare a cup of herbal tea. The beauty of habit stacking is that it uses the strength of your existing habits to build new ones, completely bypassing the need for willpower. The third method involves shifting from outcome-based goals to identity-based change. This is perhaps the most powerful long-term strategy for breaking bad habits without willpower. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you want to become. When you change your identity, behaviors follow naturally. For instance, rather than saying, "I want to stop procrastinating," you might say, "I'm becoming someone who takes immediate action." This isn't just positive thinking. It's about creating a new self-image that makes your bad habit feel inconsistent with who you are. A smoker might try to quit many times, but when someone deeply identifies as a non-smoker, the decision to avoid cigarettes requires much less willpower because it aligns with their identity. The fourth method recognizes that habits cannot simply be eliminated, they must be replaced. Every habit serves a purpose, usually providing some form of reward or relief. The key is to identify the underlying need and find a healthier way to meet it. Let's say you have a habit of scrolling through social media when you feel lonely. The habit isn't really about the social media, it's about the need for connection. Once you recognize this, you can replace the scrolling with a behavior that better serves that need, like calling a friend or joining a local community group. To implement replacement theory, 1. Identify the cue that triggers your habit. 2. Understand the true reward you're seeking. 3. Find alternative behaviors that provide the same reward. And 4. Practice the new behavior consistently. The final method leverages our brain's natural desire for progress and completion. Instead of relying on willpower, we're going to use visual tracking and measurement to motivate behavior change. Research shows that the simple act of measuring a behavior tends to improve it. This is known as the Hawthorne effect. But we're going to take it a step further by creating a visual representation of your progress. I recommend using a habit tracking app or a simple calendar where you mark each day you successfully avoid your bad habit. This creates what psychologists call a commitment streak. The longer your streak gets, the more motivated you'll be to maintain it, not because of willpower, but because of your natural aversion to losing progress. Breaking bad habits doesn't have to be a constant battle of willpower. By using these 5 methods, environment design, habit stacking, identity-based change, replacement theory, and progress tracking, you can create lasting change with much less resistance. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to build a system that makes good behaviors easier and bad habits harder. Start with just one of these methods and gradually incorporate others as you build confidence. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more evidence-based strategies for personal development. Share in the comments which method you're going to try first. I'd love to hear about your journey. Until next time, remember, willpower is overrated. Systems are everything.